Kenworth. This is a driver's lounge, pretty cool because it's a new building. And that's my truck over there. So here's for you guys the first time you see this truck hooked to a trailer. Hold on. Yeah, let's do it like this. Or maybe like this. And the problem this morning I ran into was the first two axles on the trailer didn't want to move, and that's a tip I learned from somebody. Well, I think once I started driving and some guy called me on the radio. He says, hey, stop and do something, because I was already driving and I didn't realize that one of the axles was hooked, and usually it happens in winter. And that's why you never want to apply the brakes on the trailer, But of course, when I dropped the trailer, when I sold the truck, the brakes have to be applied, right? Otherwise, you will not be able to, disconnect the hoses. And so what happens is they freeze, they freeze. And one way to do it is just try to go backwards and forwards a little bit. It'll be dragging, but you just go slow, and that pressure will kind of like snap it out of that freeze. Or if that does not work, if there's too much ice and snow on the ground, you have to climb underneath and grab some kind of something heavy like a hammer or some kind of a pry bar and just knock on those discs in there, and on the brake pads. And because the distance, it's like, I don't know, like 3 millimeters over there, And so it doesn't take long for them to, especially if there's some ice and snow, right? And so everything, it looks good. So I hooked up yesterday, saw that super long video, and of course I see that the trailer is taller now. I'm using the first ride height. And actually this is good, so now I can run with like the 5 positions on the gooseneck. Right now I'm running with the lowest one because my tires are big. And the hydraulic hose is a bit, there is a sag in there, which is fine. I was turning, I was turning right at one spot when I was leaving my yard, and actually I specifically did like a big angle, and I stopped and I went to look to make sure that the hydraulic hose is not stretching. But it's a bit tight, but it was still okay. And also, like, my gooseneck is gonna be like this only when I'm empty, right? When I'm loaded, I always move it at least to the center of the axle number 3 on the truck, the second from the rear, right? And so I don't know. It's real easy to increase them. Of course, this time I'll probably, if I have to do it, I'll have to pay. But we'll see. So I'm almost ready. And so what they're doing here is, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a bright blue hose on the back near the hydraulic tank, right above the pusher axle, right? And so that's the end of the right way gauge that it's hooked up to inside the truck. And so that end, so now I brought them the trailer side connection kit, and I told them that I need a disconnect on the gooseneck, right? Because that's a quick disconnect over there where the blue hose is, when you drop the trailer. But of course, right way had no idea of knowing that I'm pulling this kind of trailer where I have to drop the gooseneck, right? And so the hose cannot stay permanent between that blue hose and the suspension. There has to be another quick disconnect at the gooseneck. And I told this guy this, and I said, should not be more than $1,000, right? And the guy has no sense of humor. He looks and he says, I'm not sure. We'll have to talk to the supervisor. Like, I supply the parts, except they might need a new quick disconnect, right? But those are, I don't know, $40, $50. And then another thing that I find that has to be fixed is that little knob, you know, like a dial that adjusts the pressure of the pusher axle. It was, I showed you guys before, it sits right in that panel outside under the driver's side door. There's looks like a little knob, you know, like on the radio, something that you turn, you know. And that thing just fell off. Actually, you see, I picked it up yesterday. You saw me when I was climbing in and out of the truck. This thing was lying on the step, and at first I had no idea what it was, and then it dawned on me because I saw the open empty socket where it was sitting before. And basically they said probably the screw was not long enough, or it was too weak. But anyway, like I said, brand new truck, knobs already falling off. What the heck, you know? And so that one they're gonna fix for free, of course. The guy had a big stamp. He said warranty. But this one I'm paying. So this is my first repair. Kind of like, you know, the truck side for this right way gauge was included in the truck price, right? So I did not have to pay for that one outright. But this one I really want to do it so that I can know my weights at all times, and it makes it easy to load. And today was -6 in the morning. I slept in the truck. And when I went to get my cart so I can park it in the spot of the truck, I looked at the exhaust, and just as I thought, you know, because the left side is disconnected, it just looks weird, you know, when it's cold and the engine is running. You know, I was warming up, and you only see the steam, or like the smoke, white smoke, coming only out of the passenger side exhaust, you know. Like, I still don't understand this. Why they even bother, you know? And if you remember, that's why I wanted to do the horizontal exhaust, you know. Just, I know it does, like, this looks good, you know, but they could not do the horizontal exhaust because of the pusher axle, this one, right? Because they said the exhaust would interfere with that pusher axle, you know. And now another thing I'm thinking about is that the slider on the truck where the fifth wheel is, it goes pretty much all the way to the hydraulic tank. And of course there's the pusher axle over there, so there's no way I can use all of that slider, because the gooseneck will hit the pusher axle, you know. Not the wheel, because let's say I only have to move that fifth wheel so far forward when I have a heavy load, right? So the pusher axle will be down, so it's gonna hit the fender above the pusher axle. And then when I'm backing, you know, you still need to raise that pusher axle when you back, right? Yeah, I could have gone with probably with a 60-inch slider, you know, and just put in, and then I would have space for a catwalk in there. Oh, and one more thing is, when they're done, I have to go outside and measure how thick the hoses are for the hydraulic, and I'm gonna buy that wrapping thing, you know, for the protector, the tape, because it's touching the frame in the middle, and then it's touching the frame where the gooseneck is, and you know, there's some sharp edges in there. I just want to make sure that now we're filming. It would be cool if this guy, no, he didn't hit me. He probably saw my camera. But that's what the truck looks like. And I drove it here. It looks pretty, I mean, it drives pretty good actually. I didn't feel any wobbliness anymore in the steering, because yeah, that was only when I was bobtailing, and so I decided to wait, just like the sales guy says. He said, I asked him about alignment, and he says if they do it, because some places they do alignment as part of the pre-sale, but turns out Kenworth does it at the factory. They have a laser machine, and the sales guy said that's the last thing they do before the truck leaves the plant. and he says it shouldn't be okay. And he, especially since the truck has such a heavy front axle, and I was bobtailing until now, right? And that's when I kind of felt that wobbliness. And the sales guy says, I always recommend on new trucks, especially with heavy front like this, he says, wait till you have 20,000 kilometers to 25,000 kilometers, which is 12,000 to 16,000 miles. And then he says, then it's good to check, But actually, I think 15,000. That's when I wrote it down in my to-do list, on my to-do list, and that's when they wanted to do. It's like a first service, yeah, and part of that service is alignment. So my first visit back here, like second after this, will be. Well, maybe I'll go to another shop, a bit cheaper, because these guys are pretty expensive. But 5,000 miles, I'll have to check the suspension, new way suspension. All the bolts have to be tightened, retorqued. And then after that, 15,000 miles, there's like the first kind of like introductory service, where they check U-bolts and stuff like that, like whole truck. And then I guess the oil change I'll do at about 30,000 miles. We'll see. Anyway, that's what I'm doing today. So Tuesday, March 13th. So hopefully I'll start trucking this week. But after this, we'll go to the Flying J. I have to scale the truck and trailer for the first time. And so one exciting piece of information you will learn from this video is my empty weight. Very important to know how much you weigh truck and trailer without a load, Hold on, I'm not ready yet. To be filmed. Oh, how's that? Time now is 7 minutes to 11. They got lots of coffee here, they got free Wi-Fi, which you need, I guess, because I don't know what's going on. Like, what's the point of booking appointments, right? So I called these guys last week. I said, when can I come in? The guy says, I said, Monday? No, let's do it Tuesday. Okay, so I booked this Tuesday today for 9 a.m. from last week, right? And now my truck is still outside. It's been almost 2 hours. And I just called them. I said, guys, I'm kind of like wondering, why did we bother booking the appointment at 9 o'clock and I had to, wake up early and nice and bright and, be here first thing in the morning. Anyway, always, with these dealers. Oh, and one more thing happened. I just got an email, finally got an email from the IRP office with my fees. And I'm like, why are there fees? I understand the administration fee, like, okay, basically I'm transferring the plate, right? I already paid like over $3,000 in end of September, right? When I got this plate and I got this cab card. And now they want, like, I look at the invoice and they want $225 Canadian and they want $46 US. And so I call them and she says, call me to book an appointment. So I call them. I said, I'm just curious because this is my first time, like my first year operating as an independent guy. But I said, I sold my truck in December, right? I didn't do any driving until now. Like, why do I see all these fees, Like, I understand the administration fee, right? It's okay. Like, that's what they usually charge to do the paperwork, right? And she says, oh, there's always fees increase. Fees always go up, like, because she says for Ontario, the fees increase for this year, and plus, when you switch trucks and your new truck is, newer, and it costs more money. Of course, Kenworth is 2019 versus the Mac was 2015, and that truck was 146,000 Canadian. This is a 225, and that's why she says that's why you have these fees. But so So now there's a fee. Okay, I can live with that. But I said, okay, today's Tuesday, March 13th, right? I said, how about Thursday? Because I don't think I can come in tomorrow. But I said, how about Thursday? And she says, oh, no, this week is full. I'm booking for Monday. I said, just to come in and drop off the check, right? Because I already have the plate, right? She says, yeah, but I gotta finalize everything. You gotta bring me the copy of the ownership from the Mac, like the one that shows my name, and it has to be original. And thanks God I have that. But that's the thing. So the thing is, I hoped I could book a load for Thursday, Friday, but no, I gotta wait till Monday. But Monday for sure, I'm gonna finish everything that I need to do on the truck, like the right way gauge, and then scale. I'm gonna calibrate it, right? And then I have the signs, and so hopefully that's it. So Monday, Tuesday, that's it. I gotta find a load, you know. I cannot save this. And that will be, I think it will be 19th. Let me just double check. Just like the Kenworth guy said, if you remember in one of the videos I said, so when do you think realistically I will start trucking, making money with this truck? And he said, middle of March. And I thought he was joking, but today is already 13th, right? And my appointment is on 19th at 9:30 a.m. with the IRP office, which IRP stands for International Registration Plan, or they also called PRP, pro rate, whatever. Actually, my plate on the left side of my plate, it says PRP, which means that it's an international plate, that it can work everywhere. And my cap card for the Mac is still active, right? So the plate is active, everything is active, except, you know, I need the updated version. Oh, and one more thing is, yeah, I gotta measure my hydraulic hose and go downstairs to parts and ask him how much it'll be for the protective layer, because he says it depends on the diameter. And those hoses, you know, I think they're like finger, right? They're probably like, I don't know, half an inch. So I just need to wrap it like this with that heavy duty plastic. And I was just playing here with some photography websites, you know, just trying to find some cheap camera for trail photography. Yep, the truck is still there, and I don't see anybody's working on it. Well, at least now it's getting warmer. Like I said, in the morning it was -6. -6. And look at all these trucks over here. Of course, these are old Kenworth trucks. Yeah, Kenworth. Oh, see one Mac over there. One Mac. I guess it's either a trade-in or a guy just brought it to the shop so they can work on it. Well, since there's nothing else to do, and I have all this free coffee, might as well have another one. Actually, pretty good coffee. Duck roast. Put it like this. Okay, you choose your cup size. Well, looks like real coffee. come on, stop growling. All right, number 3. This is my little, it's my little revenge, you know. So you don't want to fix my truck, I'll drink your coffee. So, and I can be here a very, very long time. You know? But anyway, what else do you do? Since now I have nothing to do till Monday. Oh boy. Look at this, very super comfortable sofa, you know, and here we have my favorite brand. I used to have LG like this when I had a apartment. We have a loo over there, bathroom, and we have a bunch of magazines. Today's trucking, and these are all free, and the trucking network, and Truck News is a big one. Actually, I used to write for these guys, you know, and people did not believe me. But I remember, if you look for, like, search on Truck News, I think it's .com or .ca, I don't remember. Trucknews.com. If you search on trucknews.com and then put SERGEI DRATCHEV, you'll find some of my stories. And I remember when I used to work. Uh-oh, something is happening. Check this out. This guy, I think he wants to fix my trailer. Okay. You approve of the truck? You approve of the trailer? Oh, he has the, see, the flashing lights are on, so I guess my engine is working. Just checking, yeah, you can see that one, the blue. Yeah, he has to undo that blue thing over there. Well, anyway, so you see it worked. It worked. I called them, I reminded them. And the kit for the trailer is inside, so I hope he, I told him it was to the right of the, oh, let me just show you guys, because this is cool. We'll see how the truck drives with the trailer. And by the way, in case anybody's wondering, I'm using my LG G6 smartphone. Love shooting video with this thing, you know? It's like so easy because you always have it with you. The battery is always charged, right? Here we go. Okay, all the wheels are spinning. That's always good. But what's he gonna do? Like, he cannot go inside, it's too long. And the trailer has to be connected. Alright, there goes my baby. I guess he probably wants to maybe back. Maybe they have, because the building is like, they can go all through, like there's doors on both sides. Maybe if they get one truck out, they can pull in with the whole rig. But well, that's the good news. At least now they're working on it. Because like I said, I'll keep drinking coffee. I guess that's what they're afraid of, you know. That's why they don't give you too much coffee over here. See? It's like 2 left over here and 4 in there, you know. But lots of sugar. But I like this, you know, the coffee tastes really nice. And so yeah, I used to write for these guys, you know. And I remember that when I was with McKinnon Transport, another bad company. And just to clarify, I only worked for the, you know, like a couple of my friends. These guys are crazy, you know. Like, oh, check this out. Okay. And I can see the hoses. Yeah, the hoses are good. So that's the angle I wanted to look at to see the hoses, like the hydraulic hoses, but it looks they're good. I know when you turn left, it's okay, but what this guy is doing? Yeah, he tries to pull in. Well, if you damage the truck, you're gonna buy it, my friend. Because with this angle, he's gonna hit the right side of the door with the fenders, you know? Because the rig is too long. We're gonna keep filming. It's gonna be, once again, a very long video, but I wanna make sure this guy does not damage my brand new truck, you know? But anyway, yeah, so like I said, some of my friends, they've been changing companies like every year, you know, crazy. So I've been driving since 2005. Watch your right side, buddy. Well, I know these guys are professionals. So, but what's good about the shop, it's kind of like the same thing as when you try to cross the street and you're hit by an ambulance. They can do the CPR right there, right? So the same thing here. If this guy breaks something, they can fix it right here. As I always say, humor is the life preserver on the big seas of life. You know, there was some kind of a stupid saying like that in Russian. Юмор — спасательный круг на волнах жизни. So anyway, so yeah, I only worked for Challenger Motor Freight, McKinnon Transport, Landstar, Premium Ventures. That's it. Just 4 companies since 2005, in 12 years. Now, like this friend of mine, I think he worked for like 10 companies, you know? And when I worked for McKinnon, so I was trying to break into writing, you know? And I tried to write some books, and then I tried to, I called these guys, or actually I emailed them, and I said, are you looking for any freelance, you know, writers? And so I started writing. He says, yeah. So he says, pitch me some ideas. What do you want to write about? And so I sent him, I said, just any kind of tips, you know, based on my own experience. I was buying my first truck at the time, like International. So I wrote some stuff about how to choose the truck, you know, how to find financing. And then one was penny pinching on the road. I think I was using, like, coming up with some ideas how to save money on the road, you know. And so yeah, so I got some good memories connected with this magazine, you know. And actually there's lots of good info in there. All of these, like this one is more serious, Today's Trucking. But when people ask me, you know, like, how do you look for a job? So that's what you gotta do. You gotta go to a place like this, or typically any big truck stop, like in Canada, US, and they'll have all these magazines, you know. And there's another one. One is called Over the Road, overtheroad.ca. It's a tiny little magazine. Looks like it's like this size, you know. And usually you always see them at all truck stops here in Ontario, Canada. And they have job postings, and also they you can check it on their website. But anyway, so back to my coffee. So the truck is finally inside, and then of course we're gonna, after this, we're gonna go and hopefully the guy will be able to hook it up, and then we're gonna go and scale the truck and calibrate. So that's the major topic of today's video, right? Just getting the readings from all axles, because this is really critical for heavy stuff. Oh, and then one more thing, yeah, I gotta, once he's done, I gotta go measure my hydraulic lines and go to the parts department and order this hose, because the guy says depends on the diameter. He does not know if he has it here in stock or he has to order them. And then I'll just come in my car and pick it up, because I really need that I really need that protection. Okay, so where were we? Oh, I was looking at these some of these tiny small mirrorless cameras, you know, like Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II, and then Fuji XT2, you know. So I want to make some money. I just want to get like a small camera that's easy to carry, you know, like just I appreciate, I see people are coming to my gallery, SERGEI-DRATCHEV and I see a lot of people are looking at pictures of my truck, and that's why I want to get like a small nice camera that can create you know, better pictures than a smartphone, so I can upload more pictures of my truck, especially with the loads, and maybe with me in front standing like this, you know, and then you guys can take that photo, you can frame it, or you can put it, you know, on a t-shirt, you can create a shopping bag, you know, there's all kinds of possibilities. So it's my name with a dash, pixels.com. And there it is. The truck and trailer finally done. And you see, that's what he did here. He did a quick disconnect on the gooseneck. Alright, so it's the same style as this. So I just have to pull this, so I have to disconnect this each time I disconnect from the trailer. And then over here, he hooked it up like this, but of course I'm gonna take it off when I have the flip box, but I'll just, I don't know, figure out something. But that's what it is. Yeah, the hoses seem okay. I don't know, not sure about the hydraulic hoses once I have the flip box. And the guy was saying that's where I can put in, because I cannot go here, like the fifth wheel cannot go this way because this fender is in the way. So I can use this part over here and install a small, you know, catwalk. Awful weather here in Ontario, Canada. Oh yeah, they installed this back because this fell off, this little knob. Alright, so now I can go and scale, probably. Huh, so that's what he left. And there's my instruction how to scale. Oh, I see. Now it shows something, but calibration is needed. Okay. All right, let's go scale. Why am I so low? I've got to drop all the suspension. Okay. Oh yeah, and the price was, they charged me, I came at 9 o'clock as we agreed, and they started working only at 11, and they finished only now, which is I think close to past 2 o'clock, now. And he charged me 3 hours labor plus parts plus tax, so it's 570 bucks Canadian. So I will get back $70 from the government, but it's 500 bucks. So it's roughly, what is it, like $80 US per 100, so 400 bucks US. A bit too expensive for my taste, but what do? You know, already spent the money on the gauge, gotta have it hooked up properly, otherwise what's the point, right? Alright, which way I'm looking? Okay, this way. We're gonna finish this video. I just came to Flying J in Ayr, Ontario, or what is it called? New Dumfries, Ontario. And this ridiculous Flying J over here. I used to park here, but then they kicked me out when Esso, this was Esso, became Flying J. They They used to allow people to leave their private cars, you know, when you go on the road, so, and it was free, you know. I said, okay. And so now they have like, I don't know, like a ridiculous, maybe 25 spots over here, and plus there's a restaurant. And the guy says, no, we don't. When they switched, they said, no, we cannot let you park your car over here. We are too busy. Anyway, so I just scaled, and turns out I was joking, saying that the prices keep rising, right? Last time I checked, here in Ontario, Canada, was $17. So I called them to make sure the scale works. Otherwise, it's like 10 miles to drive, you know, for free, for nothing. And I called them and I said, it's $17, right? And they said, no, it's 18 now. 18 Canadian plus tax. No, it's included. But anyway, the magic number is that I wanted to leave you with to finish this video is that my, well, I hardly have any fuel because I'm still waiting for some money from the government. So I have a quarter of a tank, each tank, so empty, right? But right now, that's my weight. If you can see, well, there's a sun. Sorry about that. But anyway, so the steer axle, 13,480 pounds, 13480, even without fuel. See how heavy it is? Drive axle, 19220, 19,220 pounds. Trailer axle, 18,940, 18940. And another problem is that this morning my second axle was not spinning, and I did not check the rear axle, which was up, right? And so I decided to put the last axle down to make sure I have, like, you know, so I can calibrate the gauge on 3 axles when empty, because that's what the right way guy suggested. And I put the third axle down right before the scale, and I try to drive, and I feel something is wrong. Like the truck stops as soon as I take off my foot off the throttle, the truck stops. And it dawned on me that that must be the axle. So I look in the mirror, I put the truck like at an angle so I can see the rear, and I see that the last axle does not spin. And I tried, you know, this is, you know, paved over here, so I don't want to drag the tires. Like I did it in my yard, it was fine because it's just on the dirt, right? But I try to go like forward, backwards a few times, doesn't work. Like the rear axle is still locked. It's basically, it's rusted, frozen, you know, corroded. So I'll have to do some exercises in the morning with a. I have that big 20-pound hammer. No, maybe 5 pounds, maybe 3. But anyway, so I couldn't do that, so I only scale myself with 5 axles. So 3 axle truck, 2 axle trailer. But I'm still a bit surprised. Like, actually, that's what I expected. So it's 51,640 pounds is my empty weight. 51,640. But again, I hardly have any fuel, right? So since diesel fuel is about 7 pounds per 1 gallon, and I have 300-gallon tank, like total 150 on each side. So 300 times 7. You can do, well, of course I cannot fill up 300 gallons, maybe 250 I'm guessing, but still at 7 it'll be another probably 1,500 pounds. So I'm guessing if now it's 51,640, gonna be 52, it's probably gonna be 53. I think when I'm full of fuel it's gonna be 53. And so now at least I can calibrate my gauge for empty. And then I have to do another calibration when I'm fully loaded, like with a heavy load, and then the gauge will be pretty much, they say it's supposed to be accurate. So anyway, so this is what I've been doing today. So pretty much focusing on the gauge and my empty weight. I really wanted to know this number, and it's pretty much as I expected. So roughly 52,000 pounds, but again, it'll be heavier when I add fuel. But it's done, even though the gauge proved to be super expensive, you know, like the part itself plus labor. But what do you do? Heavy haul is expensive, you know. So thanks for watching. This was episode 15, I believe, and I took that picture on the thumbnail. I'm gonna show it now at the end. Lucky the driver's lounge was on the 2nd floor, and I had a clear view of of my truck, so it kind of looks like as if it was taken with a drone, but it was not. It was taken with my smartphone from the second floor through the glass this morning. Thanks for watching. Take care. Captain Sergei out.